Hi guys, how's it going? Caitlin here and welcome to my kitchen for another week of meal prep. I hope you're excited for the week ahead. On the menu this week we have sweet and sour meatballs sheet pan. We have strawberry basil chicken wraps and we have pizza night. So if that sounds good to you, make sure that you have everything you need right now. If you don't have your prep list, go to the description in this video. It's going to give you a link to everything that you need to make this week super easy and every week forward going super easy. So we do have 3 varying levels of prep depending on your level of motivation and possibly your time constraints. You will see there are a lot of optional things on this week's meal plan as well. If you want to get the time to table results that you do see in the meal plan, you're gonna want to go all the way with me to level 3, okay? So if you're ready, I'm ready, let's go. So I'm gonna start with some things in level 3 because level 3 is stuff that does itself while we're doing other things a lot of the time. So it just makes sense to jump in there. What did I get on my finger? I think it's oil. We're gonna go with that. But it's okay because I'm gonna be handling chicken anyway, so we're not gonna worry too much about it. Okay. So I am gonna cook some chicken to go in my wraps, just so that is, kind of a done deal for this week. I'm also gonna make some rice. So, I should put my oil in the pan to heat up, eh? I don't know why, but I hear it's a good thing. I don't think you're supposed to heat a pan without oil in it. I don't know the reasoning behind it, and now I feel like I really gotta know. Because it's like this thing that I just do, and I'm like, well, why do I do it? Why do I do it? I feel like there must be a reason. Things always say to add oil to the pan when you're heating it. I just don't know what that reason is. Do you? If you know what that reason is, let me know. Why were my measuring cups? Okay, so I did say there's a lot of shortcuts this week. Mostly to do with pizza. So I do have 2 different types of pizza crust if you're a grain-free person or if you're a non-grain-free person. My kids are not grain-free. I tend to eat grain-free because it makes me feel better. So I'm gonna be probably mixing up 2 different batches of dough and pizza sauce and also meatballs. So there's a whole bunch of things that are kind of very optional. You can buy meatballs, make sure that they're gluten-free. It's hard to find gluten-free ones. You can buy frozen pizzas and just make those for pizza night. Add your own toppings and go wild, Options. So rice is optional anyway, because you could serve your sweet and sour meatballs with whatever you wanted to. I know we're always going to go through rice anyway. So for my family, it just makes sense to have some on hand. That's still getting warm. What I'm going to do with my chicken though, I'm going to slice it in half, just so that it cooks up. I find it cooks up faster, and when it cooks up faster, it doesn't dry out as much. It is just my preference to butterfly style my chicken. Because I find by the time that a big, thick chicken breast is cooked all the way through, it's kind of like burnt on the outside. Maybe I'm just a bad chicken cook, I don't know, but that's my observation. So I personally enjoy slicing them in 2. I have this gadget that helps me do it safely. because I am not particularly attentive sometimes. So this gadget, it's spring loaded on either side so that it'll evenly cut them. I know some people will do this technique with plates, like put the chicken between plates and do this. The idea of that terrifies the crap out of me. Or some people will have their chicken slightly frozen so that it's a little more solid and then do it that way. All of these things scare me. So but I am not a professional chef. I'm just a mom, allergic to life, trying to make it and feed my family. Cool. Nasty. All right, let's get rid of all this stuff. Man, those were some like big breasts. There's some good ones. You know when you just order chicken and sometimes they're like really, really good size and other times they're just not. Hands a quick wash because, chicken. I try my best to not touch it, but you can never be like, 1,000,000% sure, so. Here we go. So I've got a couple things going on there from level 3. Now I'm gonna go back to level 1. Just do some hopping around here. Get some of the veggies ready for my sheet pan. So just gonna roughly chunk up a couple peppers here. I'm probably gonna regret overcrowding that pan, but meh. It'll be fine. Okay, some chunky peppers. gonna chunk up an onion too to go with it. You can use red onion or white onion, whatever you have, whatever you prefer. Maybe you like sweet, maybe you like, I don't know. Oh wow, play with it. See what you like. I have kids that will eat onion. I hate red onion, and it kind of baffles me, but whatever. Like, if their thing is, oh mom, don't give me the red ones, give me the white ones. Okay. Those are the kind of wishes I can accommodate. But you go with whatever color you're feeling. So if you wanted to cut up more onion now to go on your pizza, or more peppers to go on your pizza, you can certainly do that now. Whatever you're feeling like having on your pizza, go wild. Okay, I'm gonna dice up a cucumber. I'm gonna dice some and I'm gonna slice some. You know, I'm feeling wild. No, my kids will end up having sliced, because that is how it looks most familiar to them. And they won't end up having wrap as wrap, because they don't like their stuff mixed together. But if I take all the parts and I have it separate, then they're gonna eat it. So I will take the little wins. So I'm gonna slice up some cucumber for them. And that cucumber smells good. Slice up some more, because you know what? They'll eat it. And I'm gonna dice up some for hubby and I, because we're gonna end up having ours honestly probably as a salad rather than as a wrap. So you can dice it, you can quarter it, you can slice it, honestly. You do whatever you want to do with your cucumber. I will not judge you. If you're not into cucumber, go for something else. I find like for most things that you're doing, you can kind of like substitute cucumber for tomato. If you're not a cucumber person, you can go tomato. If you're not a tomato person, you can go cucumber. Works for like sandwiches and salads and stuff. Here we go. That is it for level 1, my friends. If that's all the gas you have in your tank, you did awesome. You did wicked. Let's go on, shall we, to the next round? No, level 2. So you're already in a bit of a groove now, so we can just keep on going with that. It's kind of like going to the gym, you know. So we're gonna mix together some spices for the meatballs. Kind of like going to the gym, you know. When you first go to the gym, you're like, ooh, that was not. I don't want to do this. I don't feel like doing this. And then like maybe 5 minutes in, you're like, okay, this isn't so bad. And like 15 minutes, you're feeling fine doing it. By the time you're done, you're like, that was awesome. I love going to the gym. I feel amazing here. Meal prep's like that. It's a love yourself later thing. Because at first you might be like, I can think of a million other things that I would rather be doing right now. Well, let's do this as your way of avoiding doing the other things, in which case, that's cool too. So it might not feel like much just to have this little thing done, mixing together spices, but it can make all the difference in the world. It really can. Yeah, I'll use one of these. Okay, so I'm gonna put together the sauce for our meatballs as well. If you just want to buy a sweet and sour sauce of some sort and use that instead and just dump it out of a jar, go wild. You can do that. That is honestly quite all right. Everybody takes shortcuts. You just have to decide which are the shortcuts that work for you, right? Shortcuts that work for you might not work for anybody else, right? But you can take a whole lot of time off of this meal prep by just buying something. Oh, I did mention, like, a lot of meatballs have wheat in them because they use it as like a binder. Okay, so we have pineapple that we have that's going to be going on our sheet pan. I just want some of the juice. Just want some of the juice, that's all. And then I can just put the rest, the pineapple in the fridge. That's gonna be fine. So I meal plan for survival, guys. Like, I'm looking behind me, I'm like, why is the fan on? What is that thing doing? I'm cooking rice. I'm literally doing this thing. I'm in the middle of doing something and I'm literally forgetting what I'm doing in the middle of what I'm doing. It's kind of impressive. It's either sad or impressive. I'm not sure which. I will say the nice thing about making your own sauces, though, is you control what goes into it. So if you do have sensitivities, especially if you have multiple sensitivities, then it makes it a little more manageable to be able to modify it. I really never cooked anything at all until I had to. Like, I thought I was making food, but I really wasn't making food. I was buying a lot of processed stuff. And then I had my first elimination diet, which was the interstitial cystitis diet prescribed to me. And man, it felt like the end of the world. I realized like just how much I couldn't eat. I remember just crying. So I was thinking, I'll never be able to eat a pepperoni pizza ever again, you know, like. Grieving over food is real, but I really had no idea. And then once you find out what things you can't have, what things you can have, after a while you can get really good at modifying to make it happen. That looks like about a teaspoon. I'll go with that. Seems reasonable. So if you're paleo, you can use paleo ketchup if you want to. You can use, because there's a couple different brands out there of paleo ketchups around. Or you could just use some tomato sauce if you prefer. Heck, if you're making pizza sauce, you could throw a little of your pizza sauce in there. Why not? I think that would actually be delicious. Ketchup though has so many different flavors in it. So there's like, what is it, like 5 different flavors of sorts. It's like salty, sweet, umami, sour, bitter, something like that. I don't know. I don't know them all. However, ketchup is one of the rare things that has all of those in it. So you can give your sauce a little taste there. If it feels like it's, you know, missing a little something, play with it. Oh, that's good. That is gonna be delicious on the meatballs. Okay. Here's where we start getting into a whole bunch of like optional things. So maybe I'll show the cheese first. No, here's where we're getting into a whole bunch of optional things. So making pizza crust. So here we go. I do have a couple different recipes for pizza crust there. There's gluten-free pizza crust and there is a paleo pizza crust. So you can use one of those, or you can, you know, be a sucker for punishment and make both of them if you prefer. The only reason I make both of them is because I always like to have leftovers for my kids so that they can take it to daycare and to school. And my son can't bring the paleo one to school because it has almond in it. So it's a nut-free school and cannot have it with them, so. So I just make 2 pizzas. No big deal. Just make 2 of them. Obviously, I will respect the allergies of somebody else, because food restrictions suck. Nobody asks for that. My oldest is also gluten-free and quite reactive to it as well. Does not take much to set him off, and I have found that one, it's a challenging thing to look at when they're going to school. Because as much as there's so much thought and so much care that goes in for peanut allergies and nut allergies, I understand, anaphylactic. There's 0 or less than 0 for gluten-free, which does make it a challenge because nobody's going to clean off the table in between lunch periods so that your child can have a safe place to eat. So what we've done is I send him with 2 cloth napkins every day. So he puts 2 cloth napkins on his table and then he sets his food on top of that and eats off of that. And so far that's worked for him. And you know what, nowadays kids are so much more understanding of allergies and stuff like that. They're like, if somebody was ever like, dude, why do you have this going on? Be like, well, because the table's full of breadcrumbs and I don't want to get sick. And there are some days where he takes the cloth napkins out and man, it's covered in crumbs, and I didn't send him with anything that had crumbs on it. It's like I'm just watching and waiting. It's like, are you gonna get sick? Are you gonna get sick? And then when he doesn't, I'm like, okay, so it's working. It's working. Like it's a good thing. Terrifying, but good. Oops. Okay, there we go. So that's my pizza dough. It's all ready to go. So I'm just gonna let that thing go to town for like 5 minutes. Yeah, that'll get itself sorted out eventually. Let's see, I'm gonna combine the dry ingredients for my paleo pizza crust. Once again, optional, entirely optional. The paleo one, I don't mix up the whole thing ahead of time. And the reason for that is because it'll be gross. It's just a thing. The paleo one is just gonna act different. It's different flours. It's not gonna be happy with you, so let's just make sure that it stays happy with us. Okay. I just put the wrong things in just to start. Don't tell my husband. I mock him all the time for like just randomly omitting ingredients, and it's almost like a game at this point whenever he does a recipe where it's just like I taste it, I know that there's something that's not in there because it's like it tastes like it's almost together but not quite, and it's like this game of can I identify what was forgotten in this recipe? Maybe for him it's a game too. Maybe that's why we keep playing it. And for anybody who's like, you know what, just be happy your husband cooks. He was the cook in our house before the allergies started. Before the allergies started, he was 100% the cook in our house. However, he does not like following a recipe. Following a recipe is not his favorite thing to do. Baking, never gonna happen. But he's a good cook. He does well. So even just having the dry ingredients put together for this though is going to make absolutely a huge difference. It really will. There's not many wet ingredients to add, and then you just mix it up and let it sit for a little bit. If you wanted to go one step further, you could make the whole crust and then just par bake it. That takes up more space than I'm willing to allow for it, but if you wanted to do that, you certainly could. You can par bake it and then you can finish baking it day of, just add ingredients and finish. Just options. Okay, shall we put together some pizza sauce? Let's do it. Okay. Once again, one of those things. It does not take long. Also optional, because you could just you are certainly free to just buy a jar of pizza sauce if you want to. I find making your own just tastes better, and pizza night is something I'm actually quite passionate about. I love pizza. I've always loved pizza. Pizza has always been my favorite food. So when I have had to modify my diet, I try to make sure that the pizza is like star of the show at home, not just kind of like a little bit meh. Like, no, I want it to be better than going out to eat it somewhere, because pizza is obviously one of those things where it's one of the easiest things to get cross-contaminated with if you go out to eat it. Okay, so I want a couple tablespoons. I have the scoop out that I'm going to be using for meatballs anyway, so just gonna ish that. For your leftover tomato paste, what's a great idea is to use a scoop. If you have a 1 tablespoon or even a 2 tablespoon, just take it and scoop it out and put it on like some parchment paper and put it in the freezer for a little bit, then put it into a freezer safe container. That way the next time that you need a little bit of tomato paste, you're able to just, you know, grab and go. Let's see. Squirrel. That was almost bad. Instead of using Italian seasoning, I almost put pepper in there. My husband would have loved that. Pepper fiend. But even a tablespoon and a half of pepper might have been too much for him. Oh my goodness. That would not have been my finest moment. Oh, I'm just laughing at what could have been in that moment in time. That was fantastic. So you can use sugar, you can use maple syrup, just a little something to sweeten it up a little bit. Pepper instead of Italian. Oh my goodness, that would have been fantastic. Mommy needs coffee. Perfect. Pizza sauce, ready to go. Just gonna shred up some cheese now, because, well, you're probably gonna need cheese for your pizza. Unless, of course, you are strictly paleo, then you may not want cheese for your pizza. I've got some options in the meal plan if you're not a cheese person. Either you don't like the flavor of it, or you perhaps can't have it. So, okay, I think like there's so much juices in that pan right now that I'm pretty much just poaching my chicken, which is kind of special. Well, it's cooked. Cool. So, a couple options for a cheeseless pizza that works. One option, if you're like super nutritious, you can just take some baby spinach and do like a light covering of baby spinach on top of the sauce. That's going to keep the sauce from drying out, because that is the hardest thing with a cheeseless pizza, is keeping it from drying out. Because if you put the sauce on there, it just disappears into the crust, dries out. You just have like this nasty thing that doesn't even really resemble or feel like pizza at all, and it's depressing. So you need to do something to keep it from, being nasty. So, first option is the baby spinach option. It is going to change the flavor, but it's going to keep the sauce moist, and you're also going to get nutrients from having, extra veg. So that's positive, right? So let's just read into the positivity on that one and go with it. Other option, this is actually my favorite one, and you might think I sound like a lunatic, but take a little bit of mayonnaise and mix it in with your tomato sauce. It's gonna look pretty gross. However, once it cooks, it doesn't look that gross, okay? It's not gonna look nasty after it's cooked. And it lends like a surprisingly nice texture. Kind of almost like a texture that's almost cheesy reminiscent. But most importantly, it keeps the sauce from drying out. So you still get the feel of pizza and the flavors of pizza, and it honestly doesn't change the flavor profile that much. Might make it a little creamier, but I think that's the part that kind of makes it feel almost cheese adjacent. So you can try it and let me know what you think. It's the way I always do it. I haven't seen it advertised anywhere else, maybe because I'm slightly insane for recommending it, but don't knock until you try it. Cool. Got some cheese. Wonder if that's enough. I'm gonna do some more, just since we're doing extra pizzas. If you choose to do, if you want to have like one big pizza, you can certainly do that. One big pizza to feed the family, and then maybe have a side dish of some sort, like do a side salad, like something like that. Then you're getting more veggies into your day, all that. And then you're having pizza and a side dish. If you just want to straight up like gorge on pizza, make more pizza, okay? In that case, you'd want to double how much cheese you're doing. And you can skip this step by either buying a pizza that already has cheese on it. Nice and easy. Frozen pizza, add your own toppings. Pizza night for the win. Or you can buy pre-shredded cheese. However, if you buy the pre-shredded cheese, it's often not as good. So there's a little bit of a trade-off. A lot of bit of a trade-off. We get the Saputo, lactose-free. And it is very, very, very good. Like I said, I don't mess around with pizza night. I will only give you my best recommendations and best suggestions for pizza night because it's something I am passionate about. Love me my pizza. Cheese right there. Bam, bam, bam. Guys, we are just getting so much stuff done. This is our last one that is optional. Okay? And it's kind of a big one. Making meatballs. Making meatballs, my friends. So, you might be able to buy meatballs. You might. I know M&M meat shops, they have meatballs that are gluten-free. Not all of their meatballs at M&M meat shops are gluten-free, so buyer beware. Make sure that you look. Their stuff is clearly marked, whether it's gluten-free or not. However, don't just walk into M&M meat shops, pick up any random thing of meatballs and be like, well, Caitlin told me these are gluten-free and go home and get yourself gluten. No, do not do that. That would not be good. We do not want that for you. Where did I put my breadcrumbs? One would think I would see these. So yes, when you go to M&M's, make sure that you are looking and you are doing your due diligence because there are some that have gluten, there are some that do not. And I do not want you getting hurt on my account or recommendation, so. Where the heck did that go? Like, I know I got a lot of stuff here, but I still should be able to find it. One would think. I am like baffled. Well, the good thing is it only takes like 5 seconds to make breadcrumbs. I may have to do because I do not see them anywhere. I swear I had them here this morning. I'm gonna find them as soon as I make new ones. Well, that is my mystery of the day. But if that's the worst mystery I've got, I'm doing okay. Okay. Optional extra step, making breadcrumbs. You really don't need, you really don't need to buy gluten-free breadcrumbs. You don't. If you have gluten-free bread, this one, I got a paleo bread right here. You don't need to buy breadcrumbs. All you need is a good food processor. Because I'm all for having less cluttery things around. And this way you can use the heels of your bread without wasting it too. Just put it in a food processor. So you don't need to dry them out. You didn't need to do any of the things. Like, I got one big chunk there, whatever. It's going away. It's not gonna bother me. I will not be haunted by its ghost. Okay. So, what about a 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs? There we go. And you see, that's using my heel. We wouldn't normally use my heel anyway, so that's getting a little something from nothing too. So, that is... That's just the kind of wins I like to have in life. Okay, what else do we need? 1 egg. It's like, oh my goodness, I didn't lose my egg now too, did I? Probably the same place I left my mind. So you could use the same base for meatballs. You can use any kind of meat you want. If you want beef, if you want pork, if you want chicken, you want turkey. You can use the same base and add any flavors that you want. Go wild with it. You know, you can make your Italian ones. So we just got those ingredients in it, nice and simple, just mixing it up. If you want to get in there with your hands, you could. That like nastifies me to no end. So obviously I'm not going there. If you wanted to make double the meatballs right now and then freeze some, so next time you want meatballs, you have them ready prepared, smart. So in that case, what you would want to do is make these up, make your meatballs, load them onto like parchment paper on a sheet pan, throw it in the freezer until they're like frozen enough to be, you know, set and not going to squish together. And then you can put them into a freezer bag or something like that. But like M&M meat shops, it is $20 for 2 pounds of meatballs, okay? Whereas if you're getting your own ground meat, you can reduce that cost a considerable amount because it doesn't take a lot to do. It's just those little things that those little things can just add up, right? So you can either scoop these out, roll them with your hands, or what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take them, and my meatballs are not going to be perfectly round. They're going to be what they are. And that is just imperfect home meatballs. And they're going to go in my sheet pan, and people are going to eat them and love them. If you wanted to use a scoop to make sure you got like equal sizes, and then roll them with your hands to make them prettier, you do you. So I guess other people make meatballs. I'm making meat lumps. Man, the other day, so you have to make another layer. Put some parchment paper on there. You'll thank yourself later. The other day I was making breakfast sausages. And I just looked at it and I'm like, I really do not, I really don't want to like touch these and roll them into balls and form them into patties and do all that. So I used a scoop and then I just did them like smashed sausages. And now I'm trying to make it a thing. I think I'm gonna put it on my website. I think I'm gonna make it a thing. Smashed sausages. Making your own homemade breakfast sausages, but just smash them. Think that'll be a thing? Time will tell, my friends. Time will tell. Okay. Got your balls. Guys, we are ready. There's lots of options in there, so obviously you can make it smaller. You can take a lot less time to do this. I hope you enjoy the week ahead. I hope you like the feeling that when you go to your fridge, you know exactly what you're having for dinner. You have it all prepared. Really lean into that feeling because honestly, this is self-care that you did right now. And thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you again next week. Bye-bye.